Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, on the 9-year anniversary of the Pro Wrestling Report, we will talk about WWE's new pay-per-view structure, all kinds of big news from TNA, WWE, and Wrestling Society X, our top fives, news and views, hits and misses, all coming up in just a few moments right here on the Pro Wrestling Report. Welcome, fans, to the world's most watched professional wrestling news program. This is the Pro Wrestling Report. I am Damian Nelson, sitting alongside the man they call Meathead. And this is our 9-year anniversary show. Meathead, 9 years on the air. March 18th, 1998
exciting
was the date
and new.
that the Pro Wrestling Report debuted
Back
on
then
the
I was
television
black.
airwaves in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now we sit here 9 years later, and somehow or another, 8 years later, you are still here.
Hey, I joined in 1999, I believe on January 2nd,
21st.
something like that. I joined in 1999, and I haven't been able to shake Damian Nelson since. I'm trying.
Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for enduring our 1 week off last week. Now let's go right into the top story. The top story, Meathead, you'll love this a lot.
Ooh.
WWE has announced that they are officially going away from the multi-branded pay-per-view efforts and will be combining the efforts of all three brands on all of their pay-per-view shows. They say that all three brands will be featured, however, each brand will still host certain pay-per-views.
Oh, it's about SmackDown. Here's your Raw match and ECW match of the evening.
They have been on this road for a while. We have seen since at least last October WWE talents from all three brands participating on the pay-per-view shows. They say, does WWE, this is a reaction to the big business that those multi-branded shows do. Meathead, implications of this move by WWE, combining, if you will, for one night a month, sometimes two, on the pay-per-views.
We spoke of this for the last two shows we've taped now. It's not a special effect if you do it all the time. Big business was there because it was a once-in-a-while deal.
Yeah.
If you continually do it, nobody's going to care anymore.
Potentially. Potentially. I'll take the under on that. I think that this will be a good move, and I think if planned for and if fans know, there's a potential problem and the potential benefit. The potential benefit is seeing all of the superstars that you want to see on the pay-per-view show. So I think when you have that option to press that little interactive button on your remote control, you're going to do that as opposed to not doing it. However, the problem is, are you going to do it 2, sometimes 3 times a month to see the same stars?
Right, they're going to overuse, they're going to beat the talent down. How many times did we see the Hardys on a pay-per-view?
Well, every time they were on, the numbers were, that's not accurate.
Try. Thank you. But you see what I'm saying? They're beating the Hardys, milking them dry for whatever they can. Their work rate, once they're done, let's bring on the new flavor. I don't like it at all.
WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam were the 4 multi-branded pay-per-views.
Correct.
How do you keep the bigness of those shows?
You don't. With the exception of the Rumble and WrestleMania.
ECW One Night Stand.
That wasn't big the second time around.
It wasn't. It was the second night stand. Yeah, she called back.
Right. It was year 2, day 2, basically.
So you're saying this is a
You ever been
move?
with a one-night stand the second time? The spark's just not there. And I love the ladies, don't get me wrong.
Is it a
I've
bad
been with
move?
cute ones, ugly ones,
Is it
fat
a bad
ones,
move
ones.
because of
You're
the
trying.
announcement that they're going to do this? Because, as I said, we've been down this road for a while.
Yeah.
Or is it something that should be that added bonus when you order a pay-per-view or a SmackDown or a Raw or an ECW?
I don't think it makes it
pay-per-view?
any more special, the fact that we're watching the Great American Bash, which is supposed to be a SmackDown branded pay-per-view, which obviously was a WCW pay-per-view, which obviously was a
NWA
pay-per-view as well. But I don't think that makes it any more special to see those matches on there. I think the fact that they don't promote enough matches for these pay-per-views leaves you to decide, why should I buy this pay-per-view? Am I going to buy it just hoping something happens? No, I buy stuff knowing something's going to happen.
That's why you like the working girls. There are fans out there who are going to order the pay-per-view simply because it is a pay-per-view.
Correct.
People with the cable bills that are 4 months past due and
I've
have
been
to pay
to your
their bill
house.
in order to order the
been
pay-per-view.
to your house.
But there are those fans out there that are simply going to order the pay-per-view because it is a pay-per-view from WWE and have expectations set on that fact. They don't care if it's Raw, SmackDown,
They
or
care if
ECW.
it's ECW. Don't you even dare.
WrestleMania does somewhere around 1 million buys a year. They feel, and it was stated in a press release, that they think they can reach that same level with the multi-branded pay-per-views.
Absolutely not.
There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely not.
There's no doubt about that. WWE Pay Per Views now $39.95. They took a $5 increase mid-year last year. $40 worth of value. You're getting all three brands. To me, it seems like a smart idea by the company from a business standpoint.
And unfortunately, again, we're fans. We're not the business. And the business standpoint is always going to win when it comes to wrestling business.
Folks, interested to hear your thoughts. Send your responses to mail@pwrshow.com, mail@pwrshow.com. Click on the contact link on this very website, and you can go ahead and... is that what it sounds like? Sounds like a pop-up blocker. We need one of those for you.
No. I'm spam.
You really are as obnoxious as spam, actually.
Or do you think I made that up?
Thank you for your feedback in advance on that particular issue. Now with Meathead, let's move into the news and views. Have you yet seen The Marine? That's a movie featuring John Cena, the current WWE champion, otherwise known as The Champ. You have not?
You're talking about Jared referring to
Have you
the
seen
champ?
Borat? Borat? It's available on digital versatile disc now.
2 or 3 times now. Have you seen Tenacious D to Pick the Destiny?
And I will not.
Not that good.
$24 million to date in rentals. DVD rentals alone.
The
$24 million. You remember how much it made at the box office?
10.
Just under $19 million. WWE now has 2 hits on their hand, if you will, as far as DVD sales go.
As far as definition of hit
See No
goes.
Evil, which was rated the 72nd worst movie of all time, I believe, by some type of website.
Don't worry, there's more movies coming out.
And then The Marine, which has brought in a total haul of about $43 million so far for WWE. They announced recently that they're going to be exploring the options of just releasing things straight to DVD. Disney does it. They're smart. Distribution costs are much lower. And they've proven now that they can make movies that people want to see, but not movies that people necessarily want to see in theaters. I think that The Condemned, once it's released, I believe on April 27th or 28th, will tell a story to WWE as to where they should go in future movie releases. DVD of each. You haven't seen either WWE film, have you? You didn't see No Evil either, did you?
There's more than just those 2 WWE movies.
No, there isn't.
Yes,
Name
there
it.
was.
Name it. That wasn't a WWE Films movie. Vince McMahon executive produced, but yeah. You can go ahead and say it, Damien, you're right. And then you can add the new word on the end, again.
You're not getting balloons or a dead skeleton coming out. It's just not happening.
Will you see it?
See what?
The Marine or See No Evil?
Probably not.
Will you see The Condemned?
Probably.
The Condemned
Do you know why?
with a Y. That
Don't
was going
like
to be the
Kane.
next question after
Don't
the
like
statement.
Cena. Like Austin.
You would. May 30th, March 30th. That's
Where are
actually
you?
3 different months I just went through there. March 30th, at the Fox Theater, day before the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, there is an advanced screening of The Condemned being put on by WWE.
But
tickets were
I
free
shouldn't have
for
done
that,
that.
and available on Ticketmaster. Tickets are all gone, so look for them on eBay.
I shouldn't have done that. That really hurt.
It should. You get what you deserve. Big injury in WWE. A Money in the Bank match participant by the name of Edge is rumored to have a fractured jaw that he received in a match with Rob Van Dam recently. And as you see, Edge has not wrestled in the last couple of weeks. Edge being protected, if you will, until his Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania. Meathead, for that match at WrestleMania, we now have the 8 participants. Who do you think is the front runner? They only added 2.
I know, but it's 6.
It's a ladder match. It's a train wreck, as it's
right where it
supposed to be.
should have been. 8.
Front runner in that match.
Front winner?
Front runner in that match. Who, thus meaning who may be the winner. Who do you predict? I need a royal prediction. There it is. Yeah. You can say it without.
I know I can, but it hurts. Would you like to hear it anyway?
All hail!
Wrong. It's Mr. Kennedy!
That hurt.
Kennedy!
You believe Mr. Kennedy's going to win the Money in the Bank over a Randy Orton, over an Edge, over a King Booker,
Who has most
over
to
a
gain?
CM Punk?
CM Punk isn't winning. Who has the most to gain from winning this match?
Shelton Benjamin.
That's in the match.
Oh, sorry. Forgot about that. Actually, I think you've got several good candidates: Randy Orton, Edge, CM Punk, and Mr. Kennedy.
CM Punk is
which is
not
what
gonna
makes
win
this. It's a potential candidate, though. That's what makes this match that much more exciting. Is you've got all these people who may win it. That was a good thing about the previous 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches as well. You didn't know who was going to walk out with it. And the first year, WWE was genius in waiting until New Year's Revolution to have Edge redeem it, so that
Because
you can get that
you
hype leading
almost-
back into WrestleMania.
You almost forgot about it.
Exactly. And I think last year's execution was smart, but not as good. This
It
year,
made the money, because you know what it did? It made Cena the heel, even though he was face, in an enemy territory.
if Cena wins, we riot. One of the best signs of 2006. You pick Mr. Kennedy. I pick Randy Orton.
I just wanted to say
Care to
this
make it
kinda to see
interesting?
if it worked.
Care to make it interesting?
No.
You don't like to live dangerously?
Mister!
TNA has added another house show to their lineup. April is going to be a big month for total nonstop action wrestling, which Meathead has detached itself from NWA.
Yes.
Will be recognizing their own champion. They currently have been utilizing the the NWA World title and the NWA Tag Team titles, detaching themselves from NWA. Do they need NWA? Is this a smart move or a bad move?
No, I don't think they need them. I don't think they've ever needed them.
I think at the beginning, back when NWA had a little more luster to its name, it helped
When did
them get
NWA have
recognized.
luster to their name? When they were WCW. Back in the day. When
That was
they-
the beginning of the end for NWA, yes.
Correct. That's when they had luster.
So now to be crowning the TNA champion, it may not even be noticed, folks. You probably will see a new belt. Well, you certainly will see a new belt, and they'll just be referencing Mr. Cage as the TNA champion. But
The total
be that as it
nonstop
may,
action champion.
Be that as it may, April 13th.
Where
in
are you?
Springfield, Missouri. I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin right now. But this event we're talking about is in Springfield, Missouri on April 13th.
2 days before.
The pay-per-view called Lockdown, which is in St. Louis, Missouri.
Not East St. Louis.
They will be at
Because
the
there's a lot of
Shrine.
people on lockdown in East St. Louis.
They will be at the Shrine Mosque on April 13th.
Do we have to
and
pray before the
A
match?
couple of shows surrounding that on May 7th in Mississippi. They will have a show as well. Will TNA
MISSISSIPPI.
expanding their touring for the house shows. Smart move? Too big, too fast? Not
No,
enough?
I'm fine with it because they're making a big weekend out of it. They're making a big week out of
A
it.
splash, if you will.
Yeah, they're splashing the area, the territory.
Wrestling Society X, Meathead.
I've heard of it.
Rumor indicates that they are done on MTV. They had a marathon this past Tuesday of all the episodes to date. They will be airing the finale.
Did they proverbially shoot their wrestling load?
No, because the money shot, if you will come in the finale next Tuesday on MTV.
Did not know. Thank you.
Yes. But there was a couple of standout stars from Wrestling Society X, and the organization may not be dead, even if it's dead on MTV. But there are a couple of standout stars, one of which is
Looks
a man
just
by
like
the
you.
name of Ted Hart. Teddy Hart is his name. I was going to say his real name, but you take an N out and put a U in, and we've got something else, and I can't think of a better way to say it, but it's Ted, A-N-N-I-S, is his real name. But Teddy Hart may be signing with World Wrestling Entertainment. People have been saying for months that the reformation of the Hart Foundation is coming because of a couple of hearts that are laying around that WWE could use, blah, 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 blah. To me, it's worthless speculation. We'll see what happens. But Teddy Hart, a good star, a very talented individual.
He had the
first
look.
saw on the national scale on Wrestling Society X.
He had the look. I liked it a lot. But actually, I was thinking of a guy that looks a little bit more like you if you put like a disco ball on you. And
Why? Because we're black? I believe he had an afro.
We could get you an afro.
I'm very proud of my bald head. No.
Never mind.
The Wrestling Society X Marathon aired last week on MTV. Ratings went for about, the first show was a 0.6, and the final show ended up at a 0.3 rating. So, again, not
too
bad
late at night.
ratings. Not bad ratings at all, and that's a good point. It started at 10 Central, 11 Eastern. So the audience dwindles at that point. We don't have numbers as far as share.
Actually,
share of
Channel
percentage of
836
TVs
here
on.
in Milwaukee has a feature. It's Director's Cut at 10 o'clock, so I was watching that.
Is that Skinamax?
Oh, no.
John Cena will be starring in a television show for the ABC Television Network. That is a racing reality show with cars and such that will feature other talents such as John Elway.
Ooh.
No, he used to be
Wrong
back
show.
there. And William Shatner, the man who ranks right up here, in my
Shatner.
opinion, with Regis Philbin. Goodwill Reg, by the way. Regis, who's having some surgery done on his heart. John
Did you see
Cena-
the roast?
of William Shatner featuring Lisa Lampanelli? Of course I did.
What a great roast.
A racing show. What's going to happen is real race car drivers are going to train these celebrities to drive cars. They're going to have races, and it's on ABC. How
Don't
many
care.
episodes?
Oh,
Will
6.
air.
6.
6? I'll give it
6.
four to 6.
You wanted 6. Yeah.
No, 4 to 6.
How many will they can? Maybe 12. But I say 6.
ABC, which isn't very known for doing reality shows. I mean, Dance with the Stars, of course, is a bit of a reality show.
Bachelor.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that.
Okay. I'm just telling you they're there.
Right. So
You can
moving
put all
right
the
along.
perfume you want on a pig.
You saw the great
They have a
Muda
pig.
at Destination X, the pay-per-view from TNA, most recently presented. Many are saying there is more to his appearance at that show. TNA is working out a deal with Great Muda, who runs All Japan Pro Wrestling.
That's not. I want to get
It is
banged.
not, no. Which is not
IWGP.
also New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is what the TNA group has been working with thus far. They
That's the
are
same
looking
group.
on
That's the same group that WCW used to work with as well, and have
Starrcade
the
93 with the Battle Bowl.
They also had the New Japan NWO guys too.
There's the NWO version 73.
No, that was just the Japanese branch.
Why does this chair seem so much bigger this week? What happened?
that Frank's
It
chair?
will be a talent exchange
Sorry,
between
Frank.
TNA and All Japan Pro Wrestling, and look for details of that to be coming out soon. Great Muta always has been one of my favorite professional wrestlers.
Yeah.
From his early 90s, late 80s days in WCW. Just the Muta was revolutionary and phenomenal all at the same time. Not what he was is what he is right now, to be perfectly blunt. Devon,
Yes.
get the tables.
Really?
It's going to be more like Devon, get the smoothies. Devon opening up his own store called 3D Power Blends, which will be featuring smoothie products. Not to be confused with Smoothie King, a place I love.
Is that why
will be-
Devon's gotten so fat?
Could be. They're nutritional, these smoothies.
Yeah, but you're jiggly all over, brother.
That shop is going to be located in Pensacola, Florida, and appearing on the opening day for that show is...
The Dudley Boys.
No.
Oh, Team 3D.
Batista.
Oh. Ah. Remember Deacon Batista? He used to work for...
They had a great theme song.
Deacon Batista used to work for Brother Devon.
He did. So that show, again, if you're in the Pensacola area and want to check it out, we don't have a date for when that is going to open, but it will be a WWE star appearing at the TNA Stars opening. A lot of heat on Batista backstage, apparently, right now.
Okay.
Apparently. We're not backstage. We don't know, but that's what the reports
I
are.
have a small, tiny rant to go along those lines.
Ooh,
but
rants
go
are
ahead.
fun. Go for it.
I have
Go.
a sneeze. No, I have a...
That is not good. And you actually didn't cover your mouth.
I did.
You sick fool.
I did.
Why did this whiff of Hurricane Katrina leftovers come over here then?
I think it shot over the top there.
Let's go into the ratings news, ladies and gentlemen.
The
Raw
rantings
this
news?
past week scores a 4.1 rating. Extra 15 minutes of time on Raw this past week. Kept looking at the clock, looking at the TV, wondering when it was just going to cut off.
Who does that?
But a great angle to end that show, in my opinion, with Vince
What
McMahon,
an
Donald
outstanding
Trump, and Stone
sell
Cold Steve
job
Austin.
by Vince McMahon.
It was great.
Keep going.
It was great. ECW this past week scores a 1.6 rating. You have to excuse him, folks. He's sick, and
not just in the mind.
that was already confirmed. A 1.6 this week compared to its 1.7 rating last week. Did ECW? ECW featuring
ask you
Randy
this.
Orton this week.
A tiny little rant on this, too.
Here we go.
Let me ask you something. When was the last time something happened on ECW and said, oh my God, I'm glad I saw it, or when it happened and you didn't see it, you say, oh my God, I can't believe I missed that?
When JR appeared on the show.
No.
Well, you asked my opinion of when that moment was, and I gave you
I asked that
my
question.
opinion of when
I'm asking that
moment
question
was.
out.
To the world? To all the peeps across the pond here in the Continental?
When did ECW in its WWE form have a, oh my God, I can't believe I just saw that, or oh my
God, I can't believe it's not butter!
oh my God, crunchy, chewy, Snickers, Skittles, whatever they're eating.
Yes, Skittles.
I knew it was Skittles, dude. I like to say Snickers.
That's a good question. Well, it's a 6-month or 9-month history you're looking for as far as...
They have not
sure.
had one, in my opinion. They have not had one oh my God, I can't believe I just saw that moment. It wasn't.
Well, it was when
It wasn't Lashley RVD where they.
the clothesline that ended the show was the most devastating move in ECW history. Chris Benoit, one of your favorites, is scheduled to potentially be taking on MVP at WrestleMania for the U.S. title.
Potentially, I thought it was signed already.
No, it's not official. It's out there, but it's not official.
Kind of like Kane and Khali was never official until this week.
Yeah. MVP on the WrestleMania card. Does he deserve it?
I think so. I think he's earned his spot.
In place of others who are not on the card?
Who else?
Shelton Benjamin?
Make an argument for somebody else because I think he deserves to be on the card.
Chavo?
Does
Guerrero?
not deserve to be on the card because that means Vicky comes along too.
Oh. All right. Let's talk about this upcoming week on Raw. It is the return, ladies and gentlemen, of the wrestling god. JBL returns to the ring this Monday night on WWE Raw. What's wrong?
The best
Did I
part
sneeze
about
again?
that. The best part about that is that he won't be talking.
Oh, he'll be talking.
Not during the whole match.
Sure. JBL returns to the ring. Why not at WrestleMania, which had been rumored for quite a while that JBL returned to the ring at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't
forget who
get
his
it.
opponent is at this time because I was so taken aback by the fact
It
that
doesn't
JBL was
matter.
back in the ring. The wrestling god's back, guys. It's great. It's great. Sean Stasiak, remember Meat?
Yeah, of course I do.
With the tape recorder in his trunks?
Of course I do.
Maybe signing with TNA.
Planet Stasiak.
It could be back.
What was
Vince
his daddy's
Russo
name?
said to be
Stan
a-
the Man Stasiak.
Yes. Vince Russo said to be a very big fan of Sean Stasiak and lobbied to get him into WCW.
Did I ever tell you about my story about Sean Stasiak
No.
and Canyon? How they got lost driving around the U.S. Cellular Arena for about 7 or 8 trips around the building.
And that's difficult to do, folks. Any of you who are watching here from Milwaukee. Speaking of returning superstars, Dustin Reynolds, the man formerly known as Gold Dust, will be appearing with his brother Cody, who is currently in OVW down in Louisville, at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It looks as if those two will be inducting Dusty Rhodes, the American Dreams, into the Hall of Fame.
Good.
Will he wear his gold tux?
He has on many occasions. Matter of fact, in a photo opportunity with Mr. Damian Nelson.
Yes.
The gold tux.
Yes, WrestleMania 13, March 24, 1997, Allstate Arena, then known as the Rosemont Horizon.
Still the smelliest building next to the
A
Metrodome.
complete and total dump.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, lots of people are saying Jerry Lawler is not too happy about his induction to the Hall of Fame. He wanted Lance Russell to induct him. That was shot down. And now WWE was rumored to have offered Jim Carrey the opportunity to come in and induct Jerry Lawler. I think of the movie.
Right.
With
Man on
Andy
the
Kaufman
Moon.
and such. And apparently he is not available to do that or did not want to do that. Jerry Lawler now feeling sort of slighted, if you will, that he could not have who he wanted to induct him, if indeed any of that is true.
Who's going to induct him now? Brian Christopher?
Who?
Grandmaster?
Oh, Jerry's boy.
Grandmaster?
Let's go to the fan of the week, ladies and gentlemen. This week it's
Why are they
Desmond
here?
Brooks. Desmond Brooks, our fan of the week from Cranston, Rhode Island.
Is that anywhere near Quahog?
Frank does look a lot.
Is that anywhere near Quahog?
Could be. I think it's right up the road. You have to draw your way there, though. Yeah. All right. I'm a lifetime wrestling fan, and I've just seen your show online and have to comment. It is your show, and that gives you the right to express your full opinions, but your attack on Bobby Lashley is completely uncalled for. We all see the comparison to Brock Lesnar, but he is what most big athletic wrestlers are. Lesnar was just Goldberg. Goldberg was nothing but Lex Luger, and Lex Luger was nothing but the Ultimate Warrior. The list goes on and on. So instead of staying on him, talk about people you really are terrible, like Sandman, Balls Mahoney, Ric Flair, Legend, but time to go was 20 years ago, John Cena, and Miz. People who just plain suck.
Damien? Disclaimer?
Wrestlers never suck due to the efforts that they put forth in the ring, even the bad ones, each and every night putting their lives
Including
on
The
the line.
Miz. And that's a stretch.
God, when you say that, it sort of puts things in perspective.
It sure does. I did that on purpose. This may be all stuffed up, but it's still working.
Wow.
Who had to get a show?
Hoo-yah!
No.
Wait, hoorah!
Hoorah.
To your points, Bobby Lashley, he's starting to grow on me. I do still think that he is a black version of Brock Lesnar, and that's a compliment because Brock Lesnar is one of my top 10 wrestling superstars of all time.
By the way, check the comparisons in the section on the PWR website where you can watch classic WWE videos. I believe it was Lesnar versus Undertaker, Hell in a Cell.
Unforgiven, 2003,
Yes.
one of the best matches I've ever seen before in my life. The Lesnar-Undertaker series was one of the best series of matches. It went from Unforgiven to No Mercy. Just phenomenal set of matches where the Undertaker was teaching Brock what it is to be a wrestler. Now to your next point. Lesnar was just Goldberg? Dude, Brock Lesnar was an NCAA wrestling champion who could bring it in the ring.
Heavyweight
Who could bring it in the ring, and Goldberg was not, okay? There's
Goldberg
no
was
comparison between Lesnar and Goldberg.
A washed-out football player. Okay, he really didn't get it done as a football player. Came in with a gimmick, only had
That
about
hadn't been done before, really.
only had about 4 to 5 offensive moves,
Less than Kevin Nash.
less than Kevin Nash, and that's saying a lot too. And the comparisons between Lesnar and Lashley, a former runner-up,
Yeah.
armed services heavyweight.
Lashley's good, but Brock was presented better. Let's just say that. And Lashley's, he's all right, but Lashley, much like Rock in '96, is being force-fed to us right now, and I'm not sure he, in most fans' minds, is to that level.
No. Another comparison. Lesnar, even though he didn't talk for the first handful of months, had a mouthpiece with him. He had a great mouthpiece with him in the guise of Paulie Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
Lashley just came out and quietly beat up on people.
Luger Warrior, I'll give you that, sure. However, Warrior was better than Luger was on his worst day, not as far as wrestling ability, but as far as superstar
Luger, another
presence.
washed-out football player.
Yeah. And the people you think are terrible, Sandman, he is what he is. Balls Mahoney, he is what he is.
Gimmick.
Ric Flair.
We agree that Rick is obviously a legend.
John Cena, though, dude, Cena deserves the respect of wrestling fans, in my opinion. Say what you will about his wrestling ability, say what you will about the repetitiveness of his matches, but John Cena is one of the hardest working men in the business right now.
Damian agrees.
For that, you have to respect.
Yeah, he agrees with that, along with the fact that Bret Hart did the same thing.
Bret Hart wrestled the same exact match for years and years and years and years and cheated and got away with it, and all the fans loved him. That's what I didn't like about Bret Hart. And I looked into the man's eyes just this close, and he is pure evil, in my opinion.
I just wanted to hear you say the pure evil part.
Miz,
But
we'll
thank
agree
you.
with you on that one. Not that he sucks, but that.
By the way, fan of the week again.
Desmond Tutu. Desmond Brooks.
Desmond Tutu. That's the guy from what country is he in?
Somewhere over there.
Yeah. I don't know where that place.
Hits and misses, ladies and gentlemen. The hits this week: the Trump McMahon Austin angle on Raw this past Monday night.
Not the angle. The execution at the end of what they had to do.
How great was it when Austin walks up to Vince and slowly rings his tie, and Vince wouldn't look at him? It was just so well played and well done. Donald Trump was a little more mouthy than he needed to be.
We didn't get a chance to do a show last week, but I do have to mention real quick the biggest hit in a long time for WWE. King and JR laying down and being quiet while the crowd popped for Austin's introduction as a special guest.
They've done that before.
I understand that. But do you know,
Usually they're doing it for like Sheldon or Jeff.
I love the fact when you can hear a crowd genuinely just pop right at that.
Well, much like they did when finally The Rock was back on Raw, which is my next hit of the week.
It started off weak, though. Because
when he was wearing the newspaper?
Yeah.
I don't know if you did.
You couldn't hear his voice? I could hear his voice. Come on.
Literally, I was dozing off while watching Raw at that point, and I heard finally, and it woke me up, and I'm like, oh, The Rock, him.
And ironically, as he was about to explain what Umaga meant, I'm like, monkey piss? Oh, monkey.
But you know what's great about The Rock? A, it's timeless. B, he still can deliver what many say is the best promo in the business.
And C,
Smart for him, too, but I assure you, it will happen down the road at some point.
we miss Rock. Then there was the point where Rock went away for his first movie, and then came back and fans hated him, so he had to be heel for a little bit.
SummerSlam 2002 when he lost the belt to Brock Lesnar.
That's okay.
Another hit from the past week was the Tag Team Gauntlet. Loved the concept. Thought the straps were going to be taken off
They should have been taken off of them.
of the tag champions.
Because they've crapped all over those tag team titles. They're worth nothing. None of the teams are worthy of the almighty John Cena and Shawn Michaels.
I thought things would be great when the world's greatest tag team came out to open it up. Thought that was going to be their moment. Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas, former Intercontinental Champion, former tag team champions, get their chance at fame again, but no.
And why wasn't Crime Time in it?
Where is Crime Time?
Where are they?
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo. Holla, holla, holla.
Speaking of Crime Time, let's go to our top 5.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the weekly top 5. We picked 5 people who we think are most influential in the world of professional wrestling for that week, and we always start with the one who is not prepared. Good old John McCain over here. Go ahead.
I'll go with the man he called Meathead, but that's all right. And go. Number 5 on my top 5 list. I'll go ahead and did it for myself.
Carry
Number 5 on my top 5
You're
list
done getting yourself over.
is going to be... I did like seeing the world's greatest tag team, and I thought they were going to win the, I thought they were going to win the belts as well. They should have been there. Number 5, tag team slot, going out to the world's greatest tag team. Shelton and Charlie. And Charlie, actually, it doesn't look like he's using the corn rolls anymore. So, number 4.
It was a phase.
Number 4 of my top 5 is going to go out to CM Punk. I do like watching him in the ring.
Are you straight edge?
I don't
You
smoke.
don't smoke.
I don't do drugs. Number 4 on my top 5 list, CM Punk. Number 3 on the top 5 list is going to go out to a man who apparently WWE had forgotten about. Oh, wait, he's holding one of our belts. We better get him involved. It's Chris Benoit, the Rabid Wolverine. Number 3, the United States Champion, who you had forgotten about and we all forgot about. Chris Benoit. Number 2 on my top 5.
Chris Benoit, who would make a great ECW champion right now in a feud with Bobby Lashley, to be honest.
Absolutely, because, the two could sell for each other. I mean, Chris Benoit could wrestle a mop handle and make the mop handle look like a world champion. Number 2 on my top 5.
I don't think David Arquette's available.
Number 2 on my top 5 list goes out to the Pro Wrestling Report website, because you know why? I enjoyed driving around in my truck with my mounted laptop, watching WCW videos, driving from job to job. Kevin Nash and Hollywood Hogan versus Ric Flair and Goldberg.
Classics. The best of the best on PWRshow.com.
You, me, and Creative, we got to sit down. I've got matches I want to see on there. And number
Folks,
1,
you can, to that point, not to interrupt your top 5, but I'll give you a little more time to figure out who your number 1 is. You can submit your match requests to PWR Matches via mail at PWRshow.com. You want it, we'll get it, put it up.
number 1. And by the way,
Here we go.
I was listening to you, so of course I didn't come up with number 1 on my top 5 list is Mr. Kennedy.
Could somebody go to the door and make sure...
Kennedy.
Go to the door and make sure that the pigs and the cows stay out, because I think you just made a call to them. Ladies and
I'm
gentlemen...
going to try it one more
be
time.
definitive.
Give me one more
Top
try.
5, sure. We don't have time, but go right ahead.
Mr. Kennedy.
Wrap up. All the other stuff. Well, now you wait.
Kennedy.
Number 5, ladies and gentlemen, the definitive top 5 list, the one each of you clamored to the show to see this week. Number 5 is Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Steve Austin.
Ow.
Number 4 is Randy Orton, a man who would be champion. Number 3, all hail King Booker. Number 2,
Spittles.
the NWA TNA, the TNA champion, Christian Cage, because that's how he rolls. And number 1, ladies and gentlemen, a man who still puts asses in seats, eyes on screens, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, Mr. McMahon, Chairman, World Wrestling Entertainment, SmackDown Ratings Europe, ECW Ratings Europe. Why? The intrigue that it follows Vince McMahon wherever he goes. That is the top 5 list, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be no PWR Interactive this week. However, on the website, on the PWR Interactive homepage, we'll be answering your dozens upon dozens upon dozens of emails that you have sent on the website.
By the way, we still read the forum, so you can go ahead and send those questions to Damien, to Frank, who gets no questions, and to myself. Please send Frank a question.
Be sure to check that out, folks. 9 years on the air, and it is not our first
Thank
time
you.
doing what I'm fixing to announce we're going to do. At WrestleMania weekend, this one and this one will be in Detroit, and we will be bringing you the Pro Wrestling Report live from WrestleMania Detroit, the weekend of WrestleMania. Exclusive reports on the Hall of Fame and the WrestleMania event that you cannot find anywhere else. We will be emanating from
Detroit Rock City.
Detroit Rock City for sure, for WrestleMania, the only television show, well, that's just us, isn't it? Who will be bringing you that exclusive coverage of WrestleMania.
I have to
Last
throw
year we
this-
did it
yeah.
in Chicago, and this year we're doing it in Detroit.
Let me throw this out, too, for those of you in the Milwaukee area. This Saturday, St. Patty's Day, from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., ESPN Radio, 1510 days, 1290 nights. Frank Cosentino, the man they call Meathead, and the rest of the cast from Fantasy Sports Weekly doing their first ever live remote. And McGillicuddy's, get on down. Apparently, they say Meathead's at a 3. They need Meathead at about a 10. So that means, apparently, I get to drink on the air, folks.
Or you need a pump or something. That is this week's edition of the Pro Wrestling Report, ladies and gentlemen, on the PWRshow.com website in Milwaukee. We're going to continue going for a few minutes here. Thank you for tuning in, folks, all over the world on the World Wide Web. See you next week.